When you're in pain, what's the first thing that you do? What's your fight or flight response? Do you withdraw? Do you stop talking to everybody around you? Even when they're asking you constantly, what's the matter? Do you panic sleep like I do? Just knock myself out so that I don't have to deal with the consequences anymore or with the pain? But I think the real reason is, how do you interpret your pain? How do you process it? Because some people interpret it as a signal to withdraw, a signal to not evolve, and to just stay in their comfort zone, sedating themselves. The truth is, the way you interpret pain actually matters greatly to whether you stay as you are or whether you transform and move forward in your trajectory. A lot of what we think are just our natural personalities, our natural characteristics, are actually just coping mechanisms to avoid pain, to avoid the difficult conversations that we have with ourselves. And just to be clear here, I'm not talking about physical pain, I'm talking about mental strain, right? Where you just feel like you can't keep pushing anymore, whether it be your current path or something that you're trying to pivot away from. And the thing is, I personally believe that when you're having a lot of mental strain, it doesn't just come out of thin air. Obviously, it comes from your issues. It's a signal telling you that your current version of yourself is unfit to thrive in what comes next. So ignoring it and escaping into sedation, things like video games, addiction and all that, it's kind of like taking out the batteries of a fire alarm, right? And basically just throwing that whole thing away. You've taken care of the noise, but the fire's still burning down around you. Most people cling way too hard to their old identities, and they end up staying in environments that are toxic or don't serve them well anymore, and they stay there way longer than they should have. And honestly, your peace of mind shouldn't come from outcomes at all. You should detach it from outcomes. And I don't mean detach in a way where our detachment culture these days tries to get you to just numb yourself out. I mean detach yourself from allowing yourself to feel a certain way after you've achieved a certain outcome. And instead, make your journey itself be the thing that gives you the peace of mind when you sleep at night. Fall in love with the process. You know, when you first decide to change, the decision to change feels like it's the end of the line, right? But it's actually just the beginning. Because what happens is that your surroundings, all the people, your social environment, your structure, your daily routine and structure, those tend to fight to keep the old version of you. There's a lot of resistance, but that's not necessarily the fault of your environment, because that's always what they've known to orbit around, because you were the old version of yourself. But now suddenly that you've changed, it takes a while. Your external environment does not immediately change to reflect your inner transformation. It takes a while. That's a whole journey in of itself, right? So you gotta be patient about that. You just gotta keep pushing through, past all the noise. And when you encounter resistance, here's how to figure out whether it's just needless pain or if it's necessary pain, right? It's unnecessary pain when that pain does not force you to grow in any way, shape or form, right? That's when it gets to a point where you can make the decision to cut that bit off, because it's not helping at all. It's not teaching you anything, right? And here's the thing, numbness does not give you peace of mind. It makes things worse. There's this thing where a lot of people think if they're just detached, right? That'll just make everything easier, make everything you can just cruise through life. But when you're detached, you're just falling back into sedating yourself. That's what it comes down to. That's what you fall back into, where you enter that whole detachment mode. And you ignore that numbness that's telling you to go change something about your life, right? Because that's just your natural biological alarm. It's your alarm bells ringing. And here's the thing, when you're first starting out especially, right? When you're first starting to change, starting to go through all these transformations, my advice genuinely to you would just be to not get too attached to the version of yourself that you think you should be able to turn into, or your ideal version of yourself. Because a lot of the times, that evolves over time, right? The person that you think you wanted to turn into at the start of your journey may be just completely different from the person you actually turned into at the end, or even in the middle, or the person you wanted to be while you were 3/4 of your way through your journey, right? So just don't get that attached to a certain ideal of yourself you have in your head, and to just be more open-minded. Like, you're going to keep pivoting, you're going to keep evolving over time, right? Just know when to pivot, and then when you pivot into something right, you'll know, because there's much less friction when you're into something that truly aligns with you. All right, guys, this is going to be my last talking head video for the time being. I am definitely coming up with something really exciting. It's going to be a video essay, and it's dropping before Halloween. I have a whole stack of them lined up and ready to go. I can't wait to show them to you guys. It's going to be really, really exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like down below, and also be sure to leave a comment to share your experiences of personal transformation and growth. I would love to read some of your guys' experiences. That'll be it from me for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.